Okay, sorry for the commotion. Let's start. Okay, my first question to everyone is, everyone has access to internet at home, right? Okay, so what I created is, I used to go and send separate emails with attachments, with links, and I would sometimes send them several times a week. So students have been getting maybe up to 10 emails per week, and they have to sort that. That's in addition to all the other stuff. So sometimes students come back to me, ask me for the information, and I have to resend it back again. So I decided to change approach a little bit, and I decided to post this information on my website. Okay, so what I've done is I'm gonna give you the link. There is a separate tab over there, and once you go there, if you could have your computers open, please go to www.lawcustoms.com, and you will see at the top bunch of tab sets. Okay, you need the rightmost tab set which says customs exam, something like that. Okay, can everyone find it? Customs exam. Okay, once you get to the click on the customs exam tab, you will see the web page which has a listing. First it has some general marketing information saying that the information for this class, and then at the bottom, toward the bottom, it will have the information listing the materials that you will need. It will also have information for the links. Okay. Beneath the information for materials, so some students ask me whether they need to purchase separately customs directives. Okay, my answer is you actually need to purchase nothing if you have a printer or double-sided printer available, because there is so much material. You can also contact the school for school administration. They have some relationship with the printing shop, so you can download it and give it to the administration. And then if you need to print out, for example, customs material for, I don't know, let's say you need to print out the CFR, okay? It's several thousand pages. They have some relationship with the shop. They will print all those pages for you so that you can save some ink, because otherwise you go through many toners, depending on the type of printer you have. So in the bottom, I have a class breakdown. Okay, the class breakdown is a password protected information. Okay, well, this is open to everyone. This is a password protected information. I will be giving you passwords as we go through the class. So if I have all your emails, I will probably be sending out this information after class. I do not have the password with me, so I cannot give it to you right now. But before we leave, I'd like to get everyone's email so I can send out information, and this way it will be one shop stop, if you will, where you will be able to download the information. You will be able to look up the homework assignments, and you'll be able to see what is necessary. And if I update it, I will do the update. Actually, you know what? Since we are there, can I have someone? I may remember the password for the first class. Okay. Can I have someone try to go to the class 1? Okay. and type this in. I'm not sure if that's correct. Can I have someone enter this in the password and tell me if it works? No? Okay. Okay. I will be sending an email with the password later. 3530 April. No? Okay. All right. So that's and by the way, when you get there, some of the links that are open, some of the links are closed, meaning that, for example, I have my notes. Okay, those are welcome to the new world. We moved here because there is no. Again, if I haven't said that, we moved here because there is no projector available, so I'm not be able to show you the screen. But this is okay because I have handouts already. Okay, so a couple of more points about the portal. Okay, once you go to the portal, all of the information besides some instructor's information, such as my outline for the class, for example, when I come in, I prepare my own outline so I can stay on course, okay, without getting sidetracked. The point is all of this information is available. Some of it may not be available. However, if you show up to class, you should be able to download all this information directly. And if you should, let me take that back. You should have this information, so you shouldn't download it. Other information, you will be able to download it because it's open source. So I provide, for example, a link to the government page. Okay, you will be able to link the government page and look at the direct source. So, for example, if you go to the main page, you will see the links to the text. Okay, you have a browser open. Yeah, I was explaining that I placed everything on my website, and all the information is available there as consolidated piece, such as text, materials, handouts. However, they are password protected, and they become available as I go.
Oh, okay.
So the main page is open-ended. It has material information, but the class assignments and class-specific information is password protected, and I will be giving out passwords as I go. I should know the password right now, but apparently I forgot. So that's where things are. Okay. Additionally, if you need some kind of handouts, or you forgot the handouts, or you misplaced, or you wrote so much you want another one, let me know. Let me know. I grant you the password. The way I do it is I place all my stuff on Google Docs, okay, in a protected form. So what you need to do is you just need to send me the request, and I'll give you the on case by case. Let's say, I'm sorry, what's your name?
Oh, my name?
Yes. Yunmin. Let's say Yunmin missed the first part of the class. So she comes to me and says, Yuri, can you please give me the handout for the general provisions? Remember 101 general provisions we discussed? And I say, yes, no problem, Yunmin. Here is the password. You can download and print it. Okay? So, but generally, I should be giving you out most of materials by hand.
Oh,
Okay?
yeah, I lost the handout too.
I give you the handout. Okay.
Oh,
Yes. No, we're getting off to the rough start, but let me cure it, okay? Let me cure the provision. So Code of Federal Regulations, Title 19. Sunny and Youngman. Okay. This is the handouts that you missed. Anyone else is missing any handouts? Because after we got raided, some people lost their property. No? Okay, I shouldn't say that.
but that is a fact.
Well, let's not be so critical, okay? Okay, general provisions outline. Okay. Anyone, if anyone wants more copies, let me know. Because you guys should be writing all over this as we go through. Then next. Okay. Flashcards for the Code of Federal Regulations. Here. Let's see. We also had notice of examination. See? We are getting all this info. Very short time. Here. And let's see. And examination general guidelines. Okay. Here we go. Okay. So let's see. We should be up to date with this. And the topic. So I went through the general provisions, the last page, very quickly. Okay. You throughout your attendance, you will notice that I tend to do that because sometimes we just don't have enough time to cover everything. However, even in the most important provisions, what I do is I still focus what is most important, and even if it's in the back, I'll make sure I'll cover it. Okay. But nonetheless, please read this on your own, and if something doesn't make sense or will not be making sense, please bring it to my attention. So now, as advertised earlier today, we are covering half Code of Federal Regulations, regulatory material, and half of HTSUS. So this is the second half. This class will focus on harmonized tariff schedule of the United States, or HTSUS abbreviated. Sometimes abbreviation is HTS without US, but that's for people who are more who don't want to write it out. The reason I use US because harmonized tariff schedule. The reason it's called harmonized because of convention. Back in 1989, I believe there was a number of countries got together, convened, and decided to form a system. Whereas we, as a part of the treaty, we signed up to classify or assign a number to certain products. So this has a number, this has a number, this has a number, this has a number. And we agreed to follow the same rules. And these same rules, because many countries are signatories to this treaty, I forgot the name of the treaty, but the body that oversees this is called World Customs Organization. Its headquarters, I believe, in Brussels, Belgium. And United States is a signatory, okay, of this treaty. And because it's a signatory, it is just like many other countries, it is signed up to use the harmonized tariff system, and it's harmonized up to 6 digits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And United States uses 10 digits most of the time. Not all, but most of the time. Okay, so here is the reason why I use HTS US, because it can be HTS England, I don't know, Great Britain, GB. So therefore the reason for my usage. So harmonized tariff schedule of the United States. Okay, I will talk about it briefly, but before I dive into it, I wanted to distribute the general outline of the chapters. Okay, so let's see. 2, 3, 4. Please pass it down. I think I have 4. One more in there. 1 second. Okay, so oh, that's very nice. All right, so what is this system? Okay, what is the harmonized tariff schedule of the United States? First of all, who manages harmonized tariff schedule? Okay, it's not customs, even though we may feel like it's customs because customs works with it all the time. The agency called International Trade Commission, ITC. Those guys maintain the harmonized tariff schedule of the United States, and the schedule itself is adopted by whom? By the legislature. The mechanics of this are quite, I shouldn't say complex, but the mechanics of the adopting the tariff schedule itself, of course, we are subject to the treaty provisions, okay, to the 6 digits. By 6 digits, I mean every item has a number, okay. Determination of every item must be the same up to 6 digits, but then last 4 digits may be different. So, for example, if 6 digits describe the monitor, or let's say 6 digits describe the marker, okay, and the last 4 digits describe the color, okay. United States can adopt the different numbers, unlike all other parties, for the color, but not for the marker, okay. Basically, that's what it means. As we go through, I hope it will become clear. So, what? So the schedule itself attempts to capture all commodities, all tangibles. Okay, tangibles, these things that you can touch. Some things it doesn't capture. Further, harmonized tariff schedule also attempts to provide the rules of how to assign the particular number. Okay. At the end of the day, you have to adopt some kind of rational approach how you determine the duty, right? And the way it is done, so let's say for this marker, duty is 6.5%, and it may not be. I'm just hypothetically speaking. How do I know? How do I know that it is 6.5%? Well, how do I make sure that 6.5% is used? Okay. Well, I use this table, this harmonized tariff schedule, and the rules that are in this tariff schedule to determine that this marker is 6.5%. Okay, so in other words, it's a nomenclature or the system that assigns numbers to products. Okay, customs, the CFR which we discussed last class, they mainly focus on the process, okay, of delivering the paperwork, of delivering, of clearing merchandise, they prescribe the rules of how to behave if you're the customs broker, etc., etc. This focuses not on the process of customs broker behavior, but it approaches on the focus of assigning and assigning particular duty to a particular product. So if I use this to assign to see how much duty for this monitor, I look here. To see how much duty for this bottle of water, I look here. Okay. To see how much duty for this jacket, again I look here. To see how much duty for me, where do I look? Here? No? Okay. there is no duty for me. I'm duty free. All right. Um, where am I going with this? Some things are not dutiable. Okay. This includes myself. It mostly, I believe, it includes most of the humans. I know that if you are transporting the dead body, okay, so the person died, and you accompanying that person to the burial site, okay, for the funeral, okay. I do not believe that is use that, okay. You also do not declare duty for things of outer space, okay. So if a comet flies in, okay, it's you say a piece of rock, and boom, it lands here. You pick it up, you put it in the pocket, and you go to customs, right? Come to customs, customs says, let me empty your pocket. You empty the pocket, boom, there is a rock, okay? Do you declare that? No. Why? Because it comes from space. Then customs says prove it, and then it's a different story. But basically, there are exceptions, not many, but there are exceptions. For example, other thing, what if I want to import the software? Let's say I want to bring in Microsoft Windows, okay? What's the version? Is it Windows 7 now or Windows 8? Okay, Windows 8. So I have a box of Windows 8. I paid my license, everything, so no intellectual property right problem. I want to, there is that flag, okay, whatever. I come to customs, I have Windows 8. Am I paying duty on the software? Okay. So, but I'm paying duty on something because I can touch it, right? So if it comes on a CD, I pay duty on a CD, software on a CD, okay? So there is provision for that. But what if I take the software and let's say the server, the computer server is in India, but I downloaded, I'm here in New York. New York. Do I need to declare the download to customs if I import it? No. No. If I am a Canadian radio station and I stream my my Canadian show program across the border to the United States, do I need to declare it?
Yes.
Yes? Well, no, but see, the problem is many people ask this question, right? And you know why many people ask the question? Because if you export, actually, this is not going to be on the exam, okay? But if you export from New York to something to, let's say, Cuba, or Iran, okay, Iran, then you do need to declare the export, okay? Because these things require licenses. See, and this is a problem. That's fortunately we're focusing on import, so we do not to declare intangibles. So, in other words, what this whole thing relates to mostly is the things we can touch, can feel, taste, okay? This is what it's all about. And in a way, it makes our lives easier because for us, for human beings, if we feel something, it is rather easier to deal with than if it somehow stream this to your brain, okay? So those are the rules. And customs, on a customs exam, fortunately, you will be tested on the things that you can feel, you can touch, you can sense, smell, but most of the time you can imagine, okay? And we will be doing a lot of imagination throughout this class. So, let's see. How is, so we talked about Code of Federal Regulations, how it is organized in titles, how it is organized in sections. We talked about how it is organized in in particular format where you don't necessarily start from from part 1, but you may need to start from part 101, for example, to make sense of many things. So let's talk about the structure of the harmonized tariff schedule. Okay, what it is comprised of, because to efficiently, the harmonized tariff schedule is actually, if you forgive me for a second, let me grab the book. I wanted to do that, I just forgot. Okay. Okay, so here it is. I was thinking about placing it on the top shelf, but I think you get a sense. Should we leave the door open because it's hot?
Yes.
Yeah, I was told we're gonna have air conditioner, okay, here, and I don't know where the air conditioner comes from. I don't think you can even open the windows here. So I brought it here. I did not bring it. It's too hot. Can you make us shiver? Shiver. Thank you, Diana. Have goosebumps. Okay. So I did not bring this to orientation. We had orientation several, I think last week. I did not bring this to orientation for the simple reason because many people have they misconstrue. They look at these pages and they say, "Wow, this is a lot of pages. I have to learn everything here. There is no way. It must be really hard." And then they talk to people who spread the urban legend that the customs exam is the most difficult thing in the world, and they say, "Wow, forget about it," and they walk out. Okay, and I don't blame them because look at this. This is like this is more than Encyclopedia Britannica. Okay, so what's the good news? Okay, what's the good news? The good news is I agree that you cannot possibly know everything here. If you ask me how much duty the marker is, I told you 6.5%. There is no way I know it's 6.5%, and there is no way I can remember off the top of my head or knowing the page number of this book where to look at this marker. Okay, but what I do know is I know how to navigate through the harmonized tariff schedule to quickly find it, because the same rules, well, I shouldn't be absolute, but almost every commodity principles, classification principle of assigning harmonized tariff schedule number and determining the duty, they universally apply the principles themselves. They universally apply to every product. And you know what's the best thing? Is that these rules apply to customs as a government and to customs brokers. So if you apply this, customs also has to apply this. And guess what? Sometimes customs thinks it's this way, sometimes you think this way, and you both may be right. It's just a difference of opinion. And what happens then, we will talk about the procedural part, but here's the reason why you can have disagreements, okay? And you can exploit this reason for your client, okay? When importer comes to you, they say, "I want to import this duty-free. I don't want to pay 6.5% duty." This happens all the time, okay? And you sit there and you look through these pages and you say, "Okay, maybe I can help you. Here's what you need to do." Okay, lawfully. I'm talking about
legally.
huh?
You mean legally?
Legally, yes, legally, of course. Yes, this class is not about avoiding evading duty. So the principle is this: there is evasion, it's illegal, right? And there is avoidance. You can do avoidance if you make proper determination and if you play by the rules. There is nothing wrong with that. Okay. It may bring some ethical questions, but this is not class about ethics. So I'll just leave it at that for now. So let me jump back to HTS. So how many of you have been to Walmart or to Home Depot or to many of the big department store lately? You have? Have you seen many things? Okay, this is why it's so big, because it tries to take many things. Okay, you can imagine that this is only consumer part. There are many things you do not see. So like industrial goods, right? Like nuclear reactor. Okay. You will not find it in Home Depot or the Lowe's or your local department store, okay? But sometimes we import nuclear reactors or parts, okay? I believe Chapter 84 or Chapter 85 provides for that. So because this book tries to encompass everything in the world, every possible object in the world, with certain exceptions which I talked to, that's why it's so big. This is pretty much the only reason, okay? Because we have to, the international trade has to have some objectivity, okay? And this is a book that provides this objectivity. And of course, we have to know how to navigate. We don't have to know everything here, but we have to know how to navigate, okay? So where do we start? Okay, so this sounds great. Okay, so we don't have to know everything. That's good. You know, we have enough things to worry about. Next thing is, where do we start? Okay, do we open it in the middle and just start learning, or there is some kind of methodology to this? Okay, and there is no right answer to this. All I can do is suggest to start with the outline, okay? And once you get the basic concepts of the outline, make sure that you are comfortable with flipping through the pages. Without going too much into specifics, we can move on, okay? So today, I'm going to recommend getting familiar with the outline, and next time we meet, we can go more into the basics, okay? So just like with CFR, it's no different. Can I erase this? Okay. Okay, so if you recall, in CFR, we had title, then we had part, then we had section, right? Recall that, right? With HTSUS, Harmonized Tariff Schedule of the United States, we have a similar structure. And the structure is right here. It's all in plain view. First, you have, did I give it to you? Nobody?
Wait, what are we missing?
Okay. Thought I gave it to you. I gave you.
I have it.
Sorry. Sorry, guys. Anyone else?
The HTSUS. I have 4, the same.
4? Oh, I gave you so you can give it to them. I'm sorry. Okay. So, no, my bad. So you only need 1. Okay. Okay. So we're on the same page. So anytime you don't get it, please let me know. I'll have extra. Should have extra. Okay. So when you get this book, okay, again, this is the outline which covers the whole thing. Okay, this is your navigation map. Okay, and just like title, part, and the section, it also has. It doesn't have a title. Well, it does have titles. Okay, but they're not called titles per se. It starts off with something called general notes, general rules of interpretation, and general statistical notes. Okay, this is when you open your book, this is the first thing you will see. Okay, so when you see this introduction marked general notes, what comes to your mind? Anyone? Just general stuff, probably, right? That's what it says, general stuff. Is it going to be useful to you in the customs broker examination? Probably not. Probably not. Not the general notes at this level, okay? At the top level. GRIs, general rules of interpretation, okay? Actually, let me take that back. They will be useful to you because general notes provide for, among other things, free trade agreements. The reason I said they will not be useful to you is because the way this is written is they say general notes, general rules of interpretation, but general notes come after general rules of interpretation. So when I was thinking about general notes, I was thinking the stuff that comes before general rules, but it's misleading. So that's why I take back what I said. So general notes, general rules of interpretation, and general statistical notes. All right. So general notes. Why would you need to refer to general notes? Let me show you just as an example the chunk of it is bigger by now, okay? But general notes comes at the very beginning of the HTS book, and it covers. I'm at already page 600, okay? Mm-hmm. Page 6. So this is a 2010 version, okay? So this is an old version, okay? It is marked as GN and then the page, whatever, 645. Okay. So what are these? What are you talking about in the 645 pages altogether? Okay. What is the deal with that? Well, pretty much everything that you think is useful. I know it's not helpful, so let's be more specific. NAFTA. We talked about NAFTA, North American Free Trade Agreement, in the last section of the class. NAFTA. Covered by General Note 12. So, if you want to learn about NAFTA, how to classify the product according to NAFTA, you go to General Note 12, which is somewhere within this 645 pages. Okay? Now, I'm talking about, like, let's say this is made in Canada from plastic which is made in China. Okay? Or this is made in China, brought to Canada, and assembled. Okay? Does it qualify for NAFTA? What do you look? You look at the General Note 12. Okay? So this you keep on going. You have Israel Free Trade Agreement. You have Morocco, Bahrain. How many trade agreements do we have now? I lost the count, honestly. I think we have like 12, maybe more. Maybe more. Korea has been added lately. Cuba? No. Cuba is under the Trade with the Enemy Act sanctions. there is you can export under limited license to Cuba, but imports are usually very tiny, if allowed at all. So free trade agreements, okay? Now, since we're talking about the free trade agreements, and we're still building the structure of where everything is in the world of customs broker examination, counterpart, because we have two different classes, right? First class, Code of Federal Regulations, second class, classification, right? Well, you can always think about this as, when it comes to free trade agreement, from the classification to the procedural section. And the procedural section for free trade agreement, I believe, is described in CFR part 10. So, NAFTA part 181 for NAFTA. But Bahrain, again, 10 or 12. I think it's 10. But so if you want to know whether if this marker qualifies for NAFTA, okay, then you need to look at General Note 12 for provisions for tariff shift, to assign a number, okay? But if you want to know, after you figure out it qualifies, what type of documents to fill out, what types of certificates to surrender, you look here. So numbers, okay, procedure, okay? And if you think in this type of duality from the outset, it may help you, because otherwise you may get confused with the overlap. Okay. So, what else? What else besides free trade agreements general notes provide for? Well, general notes usually are broken down. How many we have? 18 or I don't have the amount. And this is too old. There have been definitely more, but there may be, I believe over 20, 35 already.
Yeah.
Oh man, there used to be time it was like below 20. Okay, so 35 general notes. Only, I mean, some of them cover free trade agreements, but some of them cover other things. Some of them cover, for example, what that dead bodies and frequencies and things from outer space are not subject to classification. I believe it's within the first general notes 1 through 3. Okay. They also provide for customs territory of the United States, General Note 2. It's redundant, so you can find what's customs territory in the United States in General Provisions 101. But you don't have to, if you forget that, you look at the General Note 2. Yeah.
I'm looking at the general notes on the internet,
Mm-hmm.
but then when I click on 12, it doesn't say 12 when you open it.
Yeah, because USITC didn't is this official USITC website?
Probably not. Oh yeah, usitc.gov.
Okay, that means they didn't provide a good hyperlink. Okay, you cannot hold government to the responsible for being perfect, and we're all imperfect, right? So, and we know that, right? So, so this is one example of imperfection by United States ITC. But we understand that since government is established by people and which is by us under the Constitution, we have to be very forgiving. So when we see that, we try to we press the hyperlink, and then you just have to press buttons through.
I'm confirmed because I have the actual hard copy book, and if it doesn't say General Note 12,
You have General Note 12.
I have it in my book.
You have it there too.
I have it here, yes. But,
How many pages of General Note 12?
well, when I clicked on it,
Yeah, so general node 12 can span across maybe 200 pages because NAFTA is very big.
Right.
Remember, Sunny, right? You mentioned that NAFTA is a lot of pages. Well, you are right. Like 200 pages.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
The GN is,
853.
yeah.
Okay, there you go. Do you have to know all 853 pages? I hope not. Hope you have better things to do. Okay, it's there. I'll show it to you. I know these guys, when they do the PDF hyperlinks, they don't do it sometimes correctly, and I had the same problem. So I have to like backtrack the calculation of the page number, and then put that page number into the PDF file if you're using PDF. All right. So this is about general nodes, okay? So we're at the very top, okay? So okay, besides general nodes, even before you get to the general nodes, so this is how it's supposed to be. Okay. So HTSUS should come to general rules of interpretation, and only then general nodes. Okay. So this was supposed to be my starting point. I was thrown off by this example, which is official example from the USITC. But general rules of interpretation is pretty much the first thing you come across when you open harmonized tariff schedule, okay? And general rules of interpretation, this is like the constitution of the classification system, okay? They set out, I remember how we started with the constitution with the people of the United States, and then they make the general proclamations, okay? And according to these general proclamations, you make specific determinations that, for example, customs can pass rules that or enforce regulations for the international trade that goes through the borders. So is the general rules of interpretation. I will refer to them as GRI. It's common reference to them, GRI, but when I say a word GRI, it talks about general rules of interpretation. It's it's the very first thing you will see, and it's one or actually two-page document. It's very small, okay, and because it's small, it's very it's supposed to be very simple, and at the same time it's very complicated, kind of like Constitution, okay. When you read this, things may or may not make sense, but because of these rules, whenever you make a determination for this, okay, you have to realize that the only authority you have for making that determination is general rules of interpretation. This is, if you apply principles and general rules of interpretation, you'll be fine. And what customs will test you on is oftentimes is your knowledge of these principles as they apply